Hey family, it's your girl Wordplay Queen, and I am coming to you all today with a message about the heart. We all know about our hearts. We know where they're located in our bodies. We understand that we need them to keep beating to live, but do we truly understand the significance of our hearts? Okay, I asked this question. I asked it like with such seriousness because as I learn things, I'm going to be making sure that I keep you all educated as well. These last few days I've been taking to reflect about some things, and we're all still in the process, or some of us are still in the process of healing. So that's okay. It's okay to give yourself time. It's okay to love on yourself and to take the space and the time that you need in order to get you back to that mind state where you can continue to go. You don't want to get stuck there, but you don't want to not acknowledge it either. So, in my reflective time, I just learned a few things. And I mean, I've always understood the significance of the heart. I've always understood, I felt like, its importance, but I never really understood it. And that's just from a physical level. So I've never really understood it from a spiritual level, and I'm really starting to understand it from a health level too, because physically, I mean, like, you want to exercise, you want to make sure that, because your heart is a muscle, you want to make sure that it's strong. So physically you may be strong, but emotionally and spiritually your heart affects a lot about your reality. It affects a lot about the way you think. I would dare say, and a lot of people have said, that your heart is your brain. It's the brain of the body. Your heart tells your brain what to do, as well as the rest of your body. It's your circulatory system. It pumps blood and oxygen throughout your whole entire being. It's the most important thing that you have. So as I begin to study myself and just remember the things that I've been learning, this entire COVID situation has put a lot of us under a lot of stress. And so I just, I like history. I like to dig into history and figure out how things correlate between the now and the then. And it just seems like, and a lot of people speculate, for a very long time there has been an attack on us as humans. I mean, the human race. I don't mean black people. I don't mean white people, Asian people, Middle Eastern people. I mean all kind of people. There has been an attack on all of us, and a specific attack on our hearts. So we all know that the number one cause of death, well, if you don't know, the number one cause of death in the United States, dare I say the world, is cardiovascular health problems. The number one cause, and I say it's because cardiovascular can mean, a few different things. It doesn't just mean a heart attack. It could mean high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It could mean stroke. It could mean all types of things like that. But a heart attack specifically, one person every 40 seconds. So that means every 40 seconds somebody dies from a heart attack. In 2017, 6.2 million people died from a heart attack. And 121 million, almost 122 million people have a heart disease right now. 121 million. Do you know how many people died from COVID? Did it just hit 1 million worldwide? This is just in the United States. The United States. And it's the number one cause of death. And for some reason, this isn't a pandemic. You want to know why? And so this is where I get into a little bit of the conspiracy theory. But if you read about history, a lot of things tend to make you go on the course of belief. And you just knowing that we're not the only people in this universe, that this isn't the only dimension, that we're not the only living beings with intelligence. There are more with more intelligence. And the earth is not what we think it is. The earth, yes, is beautiful. Yes, we were created for it. Yes, we resonate with it. We are energy beings. Our heart specifically gives off electromagnetic waves, and it's 5,000 times stronger than the brain. So your heart is sending out currencies, like sometimes they're positive and sometimes they're negative, and that really just would depend on your emotional state and how well you are at controlling your emotions. But it can be felt up to 15 feet from around you. So it's been speculated throughout time we have been harvested for our energy. If we just look through history, slavery didn't just start with black people. It's been a thing that's been about since Egyptian times. And if you think about how we have a system of very few people in charge of very many, dare I say, like we say it's 1% and we are the 99%. So that would mean that maybe it got to be in the hundreds of the number, like maybe 150 people are in charge of the entire world. And you think that it is, I don't know if you think, but would you think that it is by mistake that heart disease, the one thing that runs and maintains and sends out so much energy in our bodies, our hearts, is the #1 cause of death everywhere? I don't think it's coincidence. So, facts about the heart. The heart is the brain. It receives and it responds to energy. It has 60 to 65% of it is made of neural cells, the same exact things that's inside your brain. That is the same thing that's inside your heart, even more so. So what you feel, and we all know this because what you feel dictates what you do, right? But what you feel starts in your heart. So if you don't have control of your emotions, then you don't have control of your heart. And your heart is the loudest frequency in your body. So how can you align yourself and be more in tune with your heart? There is something called heart melting and heart coherence, where you have to resonate certain frequencies in order to grow your heart in the way that it needs to grow. You have to resonate in love, you have to resonate in truth, and you have to resonate in gratitude. That is the only way that you're going to be able to build a strong heart. You have to start eating better. Like you can't. So it's said, right, that the earth was created and we are all created for enslavement. And the thing that they feed off of, and when I say they, I mean the elite, I mean the extraterrestrials that come from the other planet, the draconians, whatever you want to call them, the evil entities. When you get into a lower state of mind, those negative thoughts and that negative energy that comes to you seemingly out of nowhere, that is because you are at a lower vibration and they are now able to access you. These beings from other dimensions, like I'm not sure what everyone believes in, but there are other astral planes where things live on and they feed off of us. We were created to be sovereign beings because of our spirits. But these bodies and these vessels, these were created in order to work for someone else. And we see this in current day because that's literally what we're all doing. I don't care what job title you want to put on it. We're all working for someone, working towards a grander plan that we know that we don't understand. Yet we clock in every day. We continue to pay these bills. We continue to vote for systems that honestly you know don't work for you. No matter who you are, it creates divide and it makes you not be able to connect with your fellow man. This is everything that is in place right now is literally keeping us all at a lower vibration. And it's purposefully done. And I can't wait for the day that we all stand up and we realize, like, no, I'm done with this. I'm done participating in the matrix. And then we can all be free. I don't know what would come after that freedom because they've been harvesting us for so long. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be okay with us vibrating at our highest frequency. So that is what I propose to everyone, is to get to your highest frequency, to start protecting your heart, which is an electromagnetic field that gives off, it's 5,000 times stronger than your brain. So when you feel something and you don't trust it, and instead you trust your thoughts, which your brain is actually functioning off, I believe 60% of your subconscious. Even more than that, I think it's functioning off more than that. I'm gonna have to look into that, or y'all look into that. Your brain functions off of your subconscious. Your subconscious is emotions, triggers, and traumas that you have not dealt with. Your subconscious is negative feelings and emotions and situations, and most of the time you don't even really know what's in your subconscious, but that is what your brain is working off of. So when you trust your brain over your heart, you're probably not making the right decision. That's why they say trust your first mind. Your first mind isn't really your mind, it's your heart. That's what they're talking about. And if you don't trust that, you always mess up, because then you start to overthink, and then that's your brain doing that part. The subconscious, overthinking, leading you to the wrong decision, which will keep you vibrating lower. So heart coherence is showing gratitude and appreciation. It's showing care, compassion, empathy, tolerance, patience. It's having a love and a joy about life that is unmatched. Like, even when you get into a negative situation, you still can find the positive in your life, and show gratitude for what you are experiencing, because you know that it is going to bring you to the other side stronger. And that is the way that we build our hearts up in a way that all of this negativity, all of this mask, and now the president has COVID. So what are they trying to say? The medicine that he's taking will now be forced upon us as a vaccine. You don't know what's going on in the other places of the world, but I implore you to research it. Australia, the UK, the type of suppression that they're under right now from their parliaments and their government is unbelievable. This is something that is going to be talked about in our future days. We're going to be telling these stories to our kids. It's remarkable. And I want people to begin to take a stand to not comply with this type of enforcement on our sovereign beings. We are supposed to be free. We've been enslaved for too long. And certain races of us, like African Americans, Native Americans, a lot of Middle Eastern countries have been under suppression for many, many years. Many years. And the only thing that is going to break us free from this is understanding that we do not have to participate in it. We do not have to be a part of it. We can continue to manifest the realities we know we deserve. The ownership, the businesses, the money, everything that you need to get to where you're trying to go, you're going to receive that if you continue to vibrate higher. Do not get tricked. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do as far as voting or anything like that, but it's always better to focus more on state elections. And this presidential campaign, this is a mockery. Other countries are laughing at us right now. This is embarrassing. Like, I can't even imagine, you know what I'm saying? Even though the elite people who run all of this stuff have orchestrated it to look like this, they just want us to continue to feed off of these emotions. If you're still watching the news, I implore you to stop watching the news. Start doing activities like yoga, like going to go get a massage, like stretching, like going outside and walking barefoot. I learned about something called sun gazing and barefoot walking, and this is just connecting you more to nature, because this is where we came from. Our bodies came from this, so when we touch it, it'll slow down your heart rate. If you're struggling with high blood pressure and high cholesterol, I advise you to look into your diet. Like, we have to start paying attention to what we eat. It's very hard, and they put so many addictive like just additives to the food that make us want to continue to eat it. We think about it, we crave it, our stomachs, they feel hungry when we know we're not hungry, and we want to snack, and we want to do all of these other things to try to sate our emotions. But it's very important that we begin to make our bodies more electrical so that we can help our heart out. Our heart has been under a lot of pressure. Just think about, since you were a kid, all of the things that you ate, all of the vaccines that you took, all of the shows that you watched that were no good, that we're learning that were no good, all of the songs you sung, everything that you've been putting into your body has to manifest. So it's like we have a lot of back work to do, and then a lot of rework to do for ourselves in the future. Your heart is your middle chakra. It's unconditional love for yourself and for other people. So if you want your heart to be aligned and you want it to be functioning at its highest capacity, then it's important that you love yourself. Sometimes loving yourself will come with forgiving yourself. Sometimes it will come with closure in situations where you really won't get closure from the other person. You have to create it for yourself. Healing and manifesting love from other people is always going to begin with loving yourself. You are the most important thing in your reality. You got this, and you can find your worth. It's not lost. It's right there. And I know that you see it. It's just sometimes things can knock you off course. That's why we have to be more focused and not distracted by these things from the media, from the news. They're trying to bombard us with fear and with stress, but we're not going to tolerate stress anymore. There's nothing to stress about. There's nothing to stress about. Whatever you desire, you will obtain. 90% of doctor visits are due to stress. I can only imagine what it's been like since COVID has started. I looked up the suicide rates because I was like, I know that it's some crazy stuff going on right now. I know that people are not, healing well from this. And mental health has been swept under the rug. And they're making it seem like, I don't know if they think that people are handling this well or not. But I'm telling you, if you can't heal yourself alone, please go seek help from somebody. Because suicide levels now, heart attacks and cardiovascular disease is #1 leading cause for death, but suicides is #2 for people between the ages of 10 and 34. And that group of people touch me the most because that's the future. So you're telling me the youngest group of people are having the most heart attacks? 132 people, are having the most suicides. The 132 people die a day from suicides, but 1.4 million people attempt suicide every day. 1.4 million people just here in the United States. That's amazing to me. That's amazing to me, because that means that there are so many people out there suffering. There are so many entities out there feeding off of those negative vibrations, and no one is trying to help, or no one is acknowledging what the problem is. The problem isn't these elections. The problem isn't COVID. The problem is what they're feeding us, what they're having us listen to, and what they're presenting to us in the news. It's killing us. Literally. It's literally killing us. Heart attacks, #1 cause. Every 40 seconds somebody dies. Every 40 seconds somebody has a stroke. They feed off of our fear, our trauma, and our loneliness. But I just know that we are coming to an end to all of this suffering. We're coming to a point where people are realizing they can have the type of reality that they want. You don't have to work this job and live paycheck to pay. That doesn't even make sense. The way the government is set up, it doesn't even make sense. Go look up psychological operations. Learn what they've been doing and understand that these systems have never been for us. The body is created for sacrifice, arises out of sacrifice, and changes according to sacrifice. That is a Hindu text, number 17, out the Garba Upanishad. And I hope I pronounced that right. But I've been reading about Hinduism. Hinduism is one of the oldest practices that we have on this earth. one of the oldest practices. I implore you to read their texts and their books, because it can teach you a lot about the perspectives that we gain as we, it can teach you a lot about what we're going through right now. History only repeats itself, and everything is a cycle. And in history, we failed to gain our freedom so many times. But this is the time where we're going to claim it, and we're going to continue to vibrate higher. They are feeding off our emotional energy, and they want us to suffer, but we will suffer no longer. Go outside and take a walk in nature. Go hug your family, call your grandma, do whatever you can to spread love, spread kindness, smile at someone, take your mask down and smile at someone, have a conversation, embrace your loved ones, get close to your spouse, forgive, care, spread it, generosity. Do whatever you can so that the whole entire population can just continue to vibrate higher. That is the only way we're going to defeat what we got going on here. It's like we in a superhero movie, and it's like villains out there, and like the citizens got to be like vigilantes and stuff. So, you know, be a hero today and spread some joy. Be a hero and be empathetic to someone who tells you something. Just be a good human being so that we can win. Okay, and thank you for tuning in with me. This has been your girl, Wordplay Queen. If you like the message, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share, please. And you all be blessed. Peace.